My name is Ayawa Linus. I'm the youth president. This issue of money woman started in the ancient time of our parents. And even me myself, I'm a money woman child, which my mother was sold to my father as little as she was. And that was then when my father was already married to the other woman, which we call Susan in our language. So before my mother grows up to a matured woman, for my father to go in contact with her, he was already an old man to an age. Yeah. And you can see that most of us that are born of money children, we are suffering because immediately my father was old now. He was not having strength to go to farm, go to look for money and train me. But you can see my elder brothers who were married directly. They are now graduates. But me that I was a money child, I could not even go to school. For me to struggle and go to school, my father was already an old man. He could not even struggle. So we come to this stage. Even most of us were against the issue of this marriage. We even preach in the churches that if God will help us so that they will reduce this issue of our old marriage, it will help us. For me, if my father married me, my mother directly, I think I would have been a graduate somewhere. My father would have trained me, but my father did not marry my mother because he liked my mother. He just married my mother because they forced my mother to him. And before my father will now reach to, before I will reach for my father to train me, he gave up. And that's why you see that we are suffering today. And this program really helped us. This program really helped us very well. Because one, if you are a money child, if your father is dead, if your father is having two money women and your father is dead, they will force you to take care of the other woman of your father. Okay. You must be the person to take charge. Even the woman is an old woman, you that child will be the one that will be sleeping with that woman as your own wife. And if you deny to do it, the next thing is to kill you. But after this program now come, many of us are happy because I cannot go and sleep with my father's wife, an old woman of this age, to say I should take care of my father's wife. And the thing now help us because that thing is not going. So immediately we were in the meeting at ranch that time. This information come to us. A lot of us took the information to our villages, and the youth were jubilating. They were happy. They were happy because even them, they were not willing to pass through such a situation. One important thing is that as my father gave birth to me as a first son to my mother's side, the other children that my mother was giving birth now, my father could not meet up with them, and all are under my care. For me to train them, for me to train my own children, it is a cost to me, and I could not make it. That's why we are pleading to government that if government will support us so that we can be able to take care of those children. Because for me, my own children are up to 3, and my mother's children are up to 5 behind me. And how will I run to train them? How will I run to train my own children? So that's why we are crying to government to help us so that we could be able to meet up the matter. It was more than 50 years because he was already an old man. Old man, yeah. He was already an old man.
The time you got them, when he gave birth to him, he was already 50 years.
Because my age, if you see one that is a policeman here, is an aged man. The one that my father gave birth to before us here, he was an old man.
So how old was your mother when she gave birth to you?
My mother was 18 years.